I'll just start by sharing some interesting facts with you. Quite an exciting list of facts and quite exciting numbers. Let me tell you what they are. $683 billion is the market size of prepaid cards in 2014. The current growth of the prepaid market is 16%. 53% of the adult bankable population in the world is currently unbanked, which gives you an immense opportunity to tap into that market through prepaid and other market products. Total cross-border transfers which are happening between developing countries and developed countries are around $351 billion at the moment. Quite a few exciting numbers, which actually give a lot of opportunities and open a lot of opportunities for financial institutions and card issuers and acquirers and service providers. As you know, prepaid is quite different from debit cards and credit cards. Prepaids are a bit different in nature because debit card is a category where customer pays at the time of the transaction. The amount is debited at the time of the transaction. On the credit cards, customer pays later, where you give credit products to the customers and there is always some credit risk and interest rates which are defined. And then you earn money from the interest. Prepaid is quite different in nature. Here it is actually pay before. Customer pays at the time of the issuance of the card or issuance of the prepaid product, whether it is a mobile M-wallet product or whether it's a prepaid card product, and whatever is the product, whether it's a retail product or a corporate product. Customer pays before the transaction. It's at the time of the issuance, or let's say at the time of reload. And due to these different nature of cards, prepaid products are totally different in terms of their services, in terms of the possibilities, and in terms of the product options which are available for issuers and financial institutions to offer to the customers. I think this trend would be a good example of that. From 2008 to 2011, the prepaid card spend has increased by 300%, whereas at the same time, credit card spend was only increased by 23%. So that means that prepaid have definitely a good opportunity to grow. There's very high adoption, which we'll talk about later. I'll tell you exact trends, how adoption is happening. It has good potential for unbanked sector, where issuer can tap into unbanked market. There is a good market for remittances on the prepaid cards. Then mobile convergence and mobility added to the prepaid adds a huge value on top of that. Then government payments are there and retail payments are there. So there are unlimited options which are there. Just sharing a few more, before I share a few more trends with you, I'll just share what type of product options are available at the moment. There are two types of products. One are personal card products and other are mass card products. In the personal card products, cards are issued to the customer, personalized for them, and actually the sale is initiated by the customer himself. So customer has to come and purchase this card, where he requests and purchases this card. And there are various card options, as you can see. And still the list is growing. The product options are not just limited to these. Innovation is happening every day, and issuers and banks and financial institutions are issuing different kind of personal card products every day. At the same time, there's a big market of mass cards, where the product is issued and pushed to the market in a mass, and customers adopt it. For example, payroll card, where corporate payrolls are dispersed through the cards, and or let's say, for example, travel or gift cards in the corporate segment, or incentive cards, or at the same time financial aid cards. So there are two categories in which prepaid cards are being issued at the moment. One are personal cards, as we talked about, and other are mass cards. Let's see what is the adoption which is happening in recent few years. According to the estimates, in 2014, the total amount which would be loaded on prepaid cards would be $683 billion, which is a massive amount. And at the same time, the annual growth which is happening at the moment in the prepaid card segment is 16%. Just look at the growth which has happened from 2006 till now and expected to happen till 2014. In 2012, we are expecting to have $522 billion of cash loading happening on the prepaid products, which is going to increase to 683 billion in 2014. Within 2 years, you can see a huge growth, and there is a potential for the banks. A major success of prepaid cards is because of the replacement of cash. So a lot of customers individually as well as corporates and institutions are adopting prepaid products so that they can replace cash, and this is one of the reasons why this whole trend is happening. Among the prepaid cards, which I was talking about earlier, which are personalized cards and mass cards, the bulk and corporate driven products, which are generally mass products, they are on the higher side in terms of the growth, and that is because of the obvious reason. When a corporate signs up for a prepaid product, they sign it for thousands of cards at times, but when a customer buys, he buys only one card. So this is a major indicator where banks have to focus. Another important segment is that up till now, closed loop cards, where cards are issued with a minimum functionality and let's say a closed network, they are higher than the open loop cards. But the trend is changing, and very soon open loop cards would take over the closed loop cards. Let me show you some trends here. This dark blue line is actually closed loop cards, and the growth is from 2006 and 2014. But at the same time, if you look at the other line, which is the open loop cards, they were very small as compared to closed loop cards in 2006. But see, in 2014 they will surpass the closed loop cards. So this is a major shift, which we as industry players are seeing, and that is going to happen. That also poses some challenges for the financial institutions, and that is how to make money on those expensively issued cards, because scheme-based cards and open loop cards are very expensive to issue. So this trend, though, reflects that it would happen, but at the same time, banks and financial institutions have to look into that, how they would cope up with the increasing cost of maintaining prepaid cards. So this is an important aspect of prepaid adoption, which is happening in next two to 3 years. Then another important segment for the prepaid card is unbanked population. And let me excite you by sharing a few more figures here. The unbanked population of the world at the moment is 2.5 billion around the world, which is around 53% of the adult population of the world. So only 47% of the world population is actually being served by the financial institutions and banking products. There is a huge potential for issuing prepaid products for that market segment and tap into this large market segment which is untapped at the moment. And among these 2.5 billion people who are unbanked or underserved, rather, majority are in East Asia, and they are around 876 million. And then in the South Asia, which is of course India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, that is 612 million. And then there is a big market segment in Sub-Saharan Africa as well. These are three large markets, unbanked markets in the world, where everybody is focusing right now. And prepaid has a good potential for all of these three regions at least. But at the same time, there is big potential for Latin America and Central Asian, Eastern Europe and Arab states. In Arab states, the current population which is unbanked is 136 million. So these prepaid products can really open up doors for the financial institutions to target these unbanked market segment, and at the same time bring some financial stability and financial inclusion for people living in these regions. This is according to MasterCard. Half of the world population is financially underserved, where prepaid has a good option, and prepaid can be a good catalyst to increase financial inclusion in these markets, where you issue, because see, issuing a banking product where you open an account for a customer, or you issue a credit card to a customer, that is an expensive proposition for a bank. But prepaid is an inexpensive product for the bank as well. But at the same time, it gives opens up a possibility for unbanked customers to get banked and start banking with financial institutions. And of course, this opens up big opportunity for growth for the banking sector as well. This is quite an attractive market segment, not only for banks, even schemes like Visa and MasterCard, they are seriously looking into these market segments. They are tying up or acquiring companies who are targeting these market segments. And at the same time, telecoms, they are also looking into these markets. Prepaid products can be in various formats for these unbanked markets. For example, they could be in the form of payroll cards or mobile wallets, and there are various other options as well. It's not only about issuing prepaid cards, by the way. It also opens up opportunity to leverage on the customer which has become banked. For example, a bank can target those customers with microloan products, other financial products, payment services, and transactional services, which can increase revenues for the financial institutions who are actually issuing prepaid cards. So this is like tapping an opportunity, and we will see this trend in coming recent years, that how this market would completely convert and get banked through various innovative prepaid products. Remittance is another segment which is quite lucrative and quite attractive, where prepaid cards is applicable. And that is that, if you just look at the figures, $372 billion are being transferred at the moment between developed and developing countries. And this is recent figure. But this is bound to grow. If you look at the growth which is there in remittance segment across the world, the growth is between 7.3% to 8.2% in next 3 years, which is very, very high growth, basically. And in 2014, the global remittances, which are 372 at the moment, would increase to 615 billion. And that is quite a big growth opportunity there. And the countries which are really big recipients of the international remittances are India, China, Mexico, Philippines, Egypt, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Vietnam, and Lebanon, in the order of the amount which they receive. If you look at that, you can easily see that all of them are developing countries, except one or two which have surpassed developing stage. But the population is still either poor, or they are working in different countries, and they are immigrants and migrants who work out of their own home countries. So this is a huge opportunity for prepaid segment, where the prepaid is applicable on both sending side, where prepaid payroll cards are issued, and prepaid cards are also applicable on the receiving side, where the recipients receive their remittances, and they can be actually issued beneficiary cards. So payroll cards are there for one side, and the beneficiary cards are there on the other side. On the payroll also, one applicability is obviously it's a prepaid card, but at the same time you can club other kind of exciting services on the payroll as well. And remittances is just one of them. So this is kind of a big opportunity which we see, and it will be further expanding in coming few years. Now recently, a few customers and few financial institutions have come up with this concept of twin and paired cards, where they have targeted sending side and receiving side in one go, where they have issued a card which is clubbed. So if a person gets a card, let's say in a particular country, his family would get a beneficiary card in the other country at the same time. So you can see the options and possibilities which are there through remittances and for the growth of prepaid cards. A couple of case studies for you. WPS is a big initiative which happened in UAE, where Central Bank of UAE and the Ministry of Labor, they came up with a mandate that all the unbanked and blue-collar workers have to be given their salaries by payroll cards or the electronic mediums. So WPS, which is Wage Protection System, that was an initiative which opened doors for payroll cards in UAE. And up till now, around 2 million payroll cards have already been issued and given to the laborers and blue-collar workers in UAE. If you look at other case studies in the world, one of them is MasterCard and Western Union collaborating, where MasterCard has collaborated with Western Union and issued a payroll card where remittances can be done through a MasterCard branded and Western Union branded payroll card, remittance card, sorry. So this is a co-branded remittance card which has been issued by these two entities. So such tie-ups are actually now being discussed more and more. And in coming few years, we would see a lot of growth in this particular type of market segment, and such tie-ups would happen more. Then other opportunity for payroll or prepaid cards is mobile convergence. If you look at the recent mobile payments and mobile remittances, in 2013, mobile payments are expected to be $600 billion. and mobile remittances would be around $55 billion by 2016. Let me share a few more things about that. Mobile remittances in 2009 was only less than $10 billion. So you can see there's a huge growth happening on the mobile remittances in within 4 or 5 years. So, and there, if a prepaid is connected to mobile, then this convergence is going, and due to that convergence, prepaid would have a huge growth as well. The reason is very obvious. Mobile penetration is much higher than banking penetration. Banking, as we were just talking about that a bit earlier, there are half of the population which are unbanked. But if you look at the statistics about the mobile penetration, about 70% of world population is already carries a mobile phone. So there is a big difference in terms of people who carry these mobiles, and also the reach of financial institutions and telecom institutions. Their opportunities are such as M-wallets, which would be issued by telecom companies, and there could be actually collaboration between banks and the telecom industry for that. And then on the mobility side, NFC payments, they are bound to grow. Mobile payments, where mobile commerce primarily, through which you actually go and purchase groceries or do small ticket, commerce, that is bound to grow. And mobile remittances, they are definitely bound to grow, as you can see from some figures here. Branchless banking is another sector where prepaid is going to see a lot of growth. Branchless banking is where banks offer their financial services through a network of agents. It's agent-based banking network, basically, through which all basic financial services like deposits and small volume withdrawals can happen on an agent's shop or agent's retail outlet or a nominated agent store. And that branchless banking is also a variant of prepaid, where banks open a prepaid wallet or M-wallet for the customers, and give the option to to them to go to a nominated network of agent and withdraw and deposit money. So this is an area where developing markets like India, Pakistan, Philippines, or let's say Kenya, where M-Pesa is quite famous already, all of these initiatives are bound to grow in coming few years. These models are generally either telco-led, where telecoms own this whole initiative. Telecoms issue these products and run those products themselves. Or they would be bank-led, where banks actually own these initiatives and banks issue these products. There's a big area where these two segments, telecoms and banks, they are collaborating as well. And that is because of the regulations in certain countries. In certain countries, the telecom industry cannot open accounts or even open M-wallets. So there has to be a banking institution backing up that financial product. So these regulatory developments would play a major role as well. But as things are happening in the last 5 years, these regulations are improving in all countries. And year by year, they are getting a bit softer, so that telecom industry can also open up its own, issue their own products and launch their own services on for the M-wallets and prepaids. So that's bound to grow as well. Another important segment in the prepaid area is government-to-person payments. There are around 172 million poor recipients around the world who actually receive government payments. And payments are small ticket, $4 to $600 only, and these are monthly. This is a card which was issued in Pakistan for the flood relief, and it's called as Watan card. And this card was given to the displaced people who had moved, whose houses and villages were destroyed, and they had to go on relief camps. So government issued this card where for every family there was a card, and every week they were getting financial assistance on that, through which they could actually buy their groceries or manage to live wherever they were settled. So this is a particular example of a relief program which was done. But at the same time, there are other government payments which are being made. For example, there are food programs running across the world on which prepaid cards are helping to disperse money. Then AIDS, subsidies, pensions, education, and charities. There are big sectors where a lot of payments are being made right now through prepaids. They are cost effective because you don't have to manage cash, you don't have to handle cash. They are secure, so cash is loaded on the card and customer can access it whenever he requires. It's convenient for the customers as well. It's 24-hour availability and transparent. Transparency is a big issue in developing markets. So prepaid cards and prepaid relief cards, basically, they are giving big help to financial institutions and global institutions to manage these programs transparently. There's big area where partnership between government and financial institutions is happening. This Watan card is actually issued through government of Pakistan, but via banks. So that is an example of that. One of the case studies is this Watan card is actually issued by a bank in Pakistan called UBL. And UBL has been given a mandate by the government to issue these cards. So such kind of collaborations are happening. I'm just going to share a video with you, which is a Visa case study of such a relief program that is around 2 years or 3 years old. And that is about another relief program, but in Pakistan as well. Let us see that video.
The major challenge was to put in place a system where the displaced people would feel that they're part of our society. The challenge was to do it very quickly. We were asked, directed by the President of Pakistan, to make this payment in a very honorable fashion. The word was they are very honorable people, and the money that reaches them will be in an honorable way. From conception to first deployment, it took us only 5 years. An IDP relief operation of this magnitude, with 1.8 million people, has never happened in the world, and as successfully as this. Put together a financial inclusion program. In an area where bank accounts were seldom, we now have 276,000 new bank accounts. All subsequent financial aid can now be routed through these bank accounts to these people. We wanted high unit technology and hence we opted for Visa card. Visa is an interesting substrate logo and a system. We selected Visa because we wanted to show the world that the systems we are using are absolutely transparent. Bringing all our relevant systems into the financial system will open up a brand new economy. They will soon not be IDPs. They will go back to their home with great honor and new vigor. They'll restart their life and they'll build a new Pakistan.
This is actually one of the largest relief programs in the world, which was done on prepaid cards. And I'm proud to tell you that actually TPS was part of that whole program. We actually launched this program with UBL and Visa. Okay, on the prepaid side, there is a big utility in the retail segment as well. Significant growth is happening on the gift and travel segments. The gift card market in 2010 was $90 billion, which is massive. And then travel card market is $18 billion in 2010. These are quite significant figures if you look at these two. Let me just tell you that gift card market in 2001 was below $10 billion. And now it is $90 billion. And travel card market is actually seeing a growth of 20% at the moment. So year by year, you'll see huge numbers growing on these two market segments for the prepaids. These retail-based prepaid cards give you, of course, customer retention, and they are personalized. They are personalized for the customer, so customers feel a bit more personal rather than gift vouchers or some travel reimbursement programs which are generally there. And at the same time, they reduce the cost of running these two products. The beauty is that everybody, in the retail industry can issue these cards. Obviously, after tying up with either a processor or the bank. And a lot of retailers, malls, travel agents, exchange houses are actually launching these gift cards and travel cards at the moment. And a lot of programs are already there in the market. The revenues for financial institutions are through the fees which are earned by issuing these cards and through the transactions, interchange obviously, and the forex. Because travel cards are issued in a particular currency, and when customers travel, they spend on another currency. So there is obviously an income which is made from the forex also. It's totally cash-free, so it's hassle-free. And customers who actually buy these cards, they are paying more cost to use these cards, but they're ready to pay because of the convenience which they get from this. Some other trends which we quickly have to go through. There are transit cards which are being issued, like NOL card in UAE is a good example of that. It's a prepaid card as well. Co-branded cards are there. Multi-currency cards, where there is a prepaid card which is issued as one plastic, but there are multiple wallets or mobile or prepaid wallets attached to it. So customer has an option to spend from multiple wallets at the same time while having only one plastic card. So multi-currency cards are there, and that also generate a lot of revenue for the financial institutions who issue that. There's a big case study in Australia where bank has issued such cards, and they have really grown their revenues after issuing such card. White label cards, where bank issues and gives options to retailers and others to use that platform. Micro loans. Now, a big example is payroll cards, where a blue-collar worker gets a salary every month. So there is a possibility to give them microloans, where the loans are issued to them in a small amount, and they are taken back in form of small installments through the salaries which are dispersed every month. Loyalties. And there are multiple top-up options. You can have top-ups through your own banking channels, or you can set up partner networks to make such top-ups. Budgeting tools, that is coming up very quickly right now. A lot of customers are looking at, customers buy these cards at times only to maintain their expenses and manage their expenses. So budgeting tools are also now becoming an important aspect of prepaid programs. So that is a major trend there. And customer self-care. This is a very low value card. So you don't want customers to walk into your branch or call up to your delivery channels. So customer self-care is an important aspect where banks are actually investing these days to let customers manage their cards themselves, either through web portals or telephone banking, etc. That is about it for the trends. I'm just going to introduce TPS to you very quickly. We are into the payment business for 15 years. We have 130 customers around 30 countries. And the regions are Middle East, Africa, Asia Pacific, South Asia, and Europe. We provide payment solutions, which are ATM switching, POS switching, card management, internet banking, corporate banking, remittance processing, and ancillary products to that. We are also proud to be associated with 3 national networks. One is OneLink, which is the national ATM network of Pakistan, the Omnibus network, which is a shared network in Bangladesh, and Central Bank of UAE, where we are launching national e-payment gateway of the UAE. We are a company of 250 people, and we are highly customer focused. We have presence in multiple countries where our customers are situated. We are represented by a large network of resellers and distributors in all across the regions. On the prepaid side, which we have just talked about, TPS has a comprehensive prepaid card management system, which is actually being used by Network International for their prepaid processing services. And this prepaid card management system provides card hosting, product management, customer self-care, which I talked about, as well as signing up partners and relationships, whereby an issuer can be tying up with a mall, tying up with a retail store, and those retail stores have to be part of the system as well to manage their different back office operations. So this system offers all of these things, and Network International is already using the system. That's about it. Thank you very much.